Okay, now my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, I don't know it's for me or for everyone. Your voice is like very low.
Okay, my voice is low. Now is it okay?
Please ask someone else.
The voice is fine.
My voice okay. Okay. So now we'll start. If any problem, you can let me know in between also. We'll start with today's disease, our second respiratory disorders. We had started yesterday. What are the diseases we had studied yesterday? Can anyone tell? Unmuting yourself.
Ma'am,
Allergic rhinitis.
Yes. So yesterday, first disease of respiratory disorders we are taking is allergic rhinitis. Now we'll go with next disease, that is sinusitis. Okay. So what is sinusitis? As I told you yesterday only that this itis word will come again and again. Here also it is itis, which means, what does it means?
Inflammation.
Yes,
Inflammation.
inflammation or swelling. So again this itis, yes. Okay, very good. So this itis here also means swelling or some inflammation. So sinus, and in front it is in starting it is the sinus. So the name itself we can understand. Itis means swelling or inflammation. Inflammation in what which reason? In sinuses. Okay, inflammation in sinuses can lead to sinusitis. With this simple term
Sorry
itself
to
we can
interrupt,
understand.
ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am, your voice
Balika,
is
you have to
breaking.
mute it.
I can't hear you. My voice is not audible.
Okay, ma'am.
So what they are saying, I can't understand what she is saying.
She said your voice is breaking, ma'am, but for us it is fine actually.
Okay. So, ma'am, you can rejoin if possible. If it is problem for all, you can let me know. Okay, I will also can go for that. Okay. So now we'll go ahead. What before understanding sinusitis, first we'll go for paranasal sinuses. What is paranasal sinuses? So paranasal sinuses is nothing but all the sinuses. There is the set of four paired sinuses in our body, in our facial region. Okay, so what are these paranasal sinuses? These are the four group of sinuses. Means a pair means there will be the eight sinuses, which means four pairs. Okay, so first pair is frontal sinuses. These are named on the bones present in that region. Hopefully you have studied that that bone one, that all the bones in your anatomy and physiology. Okay, so it will be easy for you to understand. As we know, in this frontal region, hopefully my pen is visible, then it will be very easy to understand. This frontal region where this bone is known as a frontal bone. Okay, so the sinuses are nothing but a air filled sacs. Okay, air filled sacs. Someone is messaging, but I couldn't see that. You can see directly what you want to say. Okay, if something is there. So these sinuses are nothing but a free space. You can say free space or a air filled sacs. Air filled sacs means empty space or some open space. Okay, so these sinuses, this first pair of sinuses which is present in frontal bone region. Okay, this is frontal bone. The sinuses which are present in this region is called as frontal sinuses. Okay, this is also in the pairs. Okay, two are there. Now second is ethmoidal sinuses, and third one is sphenoidal sinuses. So what is the position? If you will know, if you will recognize your anatomy and physiology bone chapter, you will know that there is a butterfly shape bone known as sphenoidal bone. Have you studied this one? Fast, let me know.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The butterfly shape. This bone is also named as butterfly shaped bone. Okay, so this is sphenoidal bone. This butterfly shaped bone, just in front of it, there is a bone like this in front of it, which is called an ethmoidal bone. Okay, this is ethmoidal bone. This is even visible if you have seen this structured in anatomy. It is visible. It is skeletal structure, something like that. It is visible from this front side of this. Okay, from eyes also, front side of the eyes. Though it is in the background. Okay, you can understand background of your behind your forehead. Okay, so first this is sphenoidal bone is there, then in front of it ethmoidal bone is there. The sinuses which are present in the region of sphenoidal bone are called as sphenoidal sinuses. This is there. Okay, sphenoid sinuses. And the sinuses which are present in or air filled sacs which are present in region of ethmoidal bone are known as ethmoidal sinuses. Okay, therefore it is very like congested na here, two sinuses are all together. So to make you understand properly, I had made this. Okay, this is happening in behind. Okay, back side of your eyes. Now maxillary sinuses, this bone, this facial cheeks bone, this is known as maxillary bone. So the sinuses which are present in maxillary part of your facial muscles are called as maxillary sinuses, or the air filled sacs which are present in the maxillary region of your facial muscles. Okay, this is clear. These four sinuses are clear to all.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
can you zoom this diagram?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so you can see here also in the everything is written also maxillary sinuses. These are located under the eyes. Okay, under the eyes, this one, and then frontal sinuses, of course, above the eyes. Above the eyes means frontal forehead region. These ethmoidal sinuses between the eyes. Between the eyes, it will be present, but it is happening in back posterior part. Okay, and then sphenoidal sinuses behind the eyes. Okay, like this is the main diagram for sphenoidal and ethmoidal. So shall we move to the next slide? This is just to give the background for the sinusitis. It is not exactly we are okay, we are moving ahead now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, one second. Hmm. Now, definition for sinusitis. The inflammation in the, very easy, inflammation in the mucosal membrane or lining of the sinuses, where all the sinuses will have definitely going to have mucosal membrane. We have studied in the anatomy that there is a mucosal membrane or protective layer for all the organs or organelles. Okay, so the mucosal layer of all these sinuses when get inflamed. Okay, first layer, mucus layer, when get inflamed is known as a sinusitis. Okay, the sinusitis simply means inflammation in your sinuses. So healthy sinuses are filled with, as I told you, these are the air filled sacs. So here it is written healthy sinuses are filled with air, but when they become blocked, and filled with fluid, germs can enter. Okay, and can cause infections together. Germs will be grown in that filled, liquid filled sinuses. Okay, this is very simple, no problem. Now causes, we can causes upper respiratory tract infection. If there is infection in upper respiratory region, we had just seen yesterday only what is upper respiratory tract. Okay, so if there is problem in this is very easy. Allergic rhinitis also can lead to it, because in allergic rhinitis also there is inflammation in the due to the presence of allergens. And nasal polyps nothing, a little, this is painless benign growth. Okay, this could also lead to sinusitis. And a deviated septum, when your this wall, you can say simple term, wall of your nose is a little deviated, if it is or shifted is in your nasal cavity, this can also lead to the same problem. This is also not so important, still we should know this definition part is very important. For the symptoms, little this, yes,
Can you explain the nasal polyps again, ma'am? Polyp.
this is nothing but a painless, so there is no pain, a benign growth, you can say a little growth, painless growth. We say now also in like tumor also happens na, in that this is the first part, I think so. For that, a little accumulation of the mass, you can say, that is a little benign growth in your nasal region. This is nasal polyps, but this is
Growth
painless.
of growth of skin, ma'am.
Not skin, as I know, accumulated mass, accumulated, yes, matlab that your flesh accumulated mass part. Okay. Yes. Like like many cells together comes together and then can accumulated. It is not exactly the we can say tumor, but a little growth of mass together it is happening. That's why it is called as. So now
It looks like a small peanut, no, ma'am.
yes, like a little, not like a
Half
normal,
peanut
okay?
something.
A little accumulation we can feel there. That is. Now symptoms, you can even study it is very simple: facial pain, this lymphosia or anosmia. This is, I told you, less sense of smell is there. Of course, if there is any hindrance, any restriction there will be the as it is normal, there will be the less sense of smells around. Nasal congestion, nasal discharge, very simple: fever, cough, cold, weakness, other many other symptoms could be also be there. Maxillary dental pain, because this is maxillary part, there is our teeth are also there, so there could be pain there also, because it will affect the overall whole. Not only that particular reason, ear pressure, etc., because these are air filled sacs na, at that time it get inflamed, so there is problem in there.
Ma'am,
Now we'll go for main classification.
ma'am,
Yes.
can you show me the last slide just for a second? Yeah, okay.
This symptoms also not so important. Now this one is important, classification. Okay, so we'll understand that how, what, on the basis of the location. First we'll see the sinusitis, very simple again, as it is named with sinusitis. If only maxillary sinusitis, with the name itself, without seeing that what it is, we can say that if the sinuses or this sinusitis happening in the maxillary sinuses, it is known, it will be known as maxillary sinusitis. If it is happening in ethmoidal sinuses, it will be, it involves the ethmoidal sinuses, it means it is ethmoidal sinusitis. Frontal sinusitis, if only involvement of the frontal sinuses is there, then we can call it frontal sinusitis. Sphenoidal sinusitis, when only sphenoidal sinuses are involved in the inflammation, we can call it sphenoidal sinusitis. So now, based on the number of the sinuses involved, this is based on the location where the inflammation or where the problem is happening, in which sinuses. Here, the number of the, how many sinuses are involved in it. On the basis of this, the division is there. That is multi-sinusitis. With the name itself, very simple. More than one sinuses are involved. Means more than one pair of sinuses are involved. Then it would be called as multi-sinusitis. Pansinusitis, with the name itself you can understand, and it involves all the sinuses all together, which is really a critical problem. All are together, it is very difficult for person to manage. Okay, I think so it is very clear, no doubt should be there. Okay, now based on the please answer, is it okay, all these two slides classification?
Multi-sinusitis, and last one is this pan-sinusitis. Can you explain the last one?
Yes, multi-sinusitis is one, more than one sinuses is involved, means more than one pair of sinuses is involved. If frontal sinuses is involved, along with that maxillary sinuses are also involved. Okay, these two pairs are involving na, any of you can take na. If two more than one sinuses are involved, then it is called as multi-sinusitis. And pan-sinusitis, with the name itself, pan means all the sinuses all together, all four pair of sinuses are involved, then such a condition of sinusitis is known as pansinusitis. Okay, is it clear now?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we'll move ahead. Now, based on the duration of the attack, okay, duration of the, how much time it is attacking. So acute sinusitis, with the name itself, very simple, we can understand it is something which is for short period of the time. So usually start with the cold like symptoms, normal cold or runny nose, etc., facial pains, pressure in your eyes, ears. It starts suddenly and lasts for 2 to 4 weeks. The thing you have to learn in this is only acute sinusitis, which is related to which will is related to 2 to 4 weeks, last for 2 to 4 weeks. Subacute sinusitis, which lasts for 4 to 12 weeks. Okay, so this is only the short notes you should have in your notebooks. Also, not need to write all everything whole notes, everything you have. Now, chronic With the name itself, it is will be for the long period of time. You can understand 12 weeks or longer. Hmm. Now recurrent sinuses, which can be with the name itself, again very simple, happens several times a year. It can reoccur again and again. Okay, this is clear. Hopefully, very clear to all.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So with this, we have completed our sinusitis. We'll move towards next disease. One second. Our next one is chronic bronchitis. Okay. Hmm. Okay, now next, third disease for respiratory disorders is chronic bronchitis. Okay, again I told you that itis word is very favorite word for these diseases. So itis again here means inflammation. And where inflammation is happening, you should go for this now, bronchi. So bronchi is so if there is inflammation or swelling in the bronchi region, bronchial tubes, it will be known as bronchitis. Very simple. Chronic bronchitis, a severe condition. So now, first to understand this your chronic bronchitis, first we'll go with COPD. What is COPD? COPD is chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder or diseases. Okay, this is not a single disease, but this is a group of diseases. Okay, this group of diseases. So COPD is a. It is written in the words now. COPD is a. One second. COPD is a common lung disease causing restricted airway flow and breathing problems. Of course, this is the common lung problem. Lungs problem is there, so there will be restriction in your airways. These are your airways passage. So if there is restriction in the airflow between these, of course, definitely it will lead to the problem in breathing or normal breathing of yours. So it make hard to breathe and get worsen over a time. Very simple. It involves mainly these COPD, which is not a single disease but a group of disease. It involves chronic bronchitis and emphysema. Okay. So what exactly we have to study in this disease is chronic bronchitis. Our disease is chronic bronchitis, and we will just see that what is a little about emphysema. So see this diagram. Okay, come to this chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. What this is the combination of chronic bronchitis and emphysema. If in lungs, if here in this region, if the problem will be in the region of bronchial tubes. Okay, if the problem in the region of bronchial tubes, this condition will call as chronic bronchitis. This is something which is related to chronic bronchitis. But if the problem or some destruction or breakdown will happen in the region of these alveoli. Hopefully, you all know alveoli, the last part of your bronchioles or bronchial terminals. There is a bulge-like structure known as alveoli, where the exchange of gases takes place. Whatever the oxygen we are taking inside, that convert that we're taking inside goes inside the alveoli, and that carbon dioxide will come outside. Carbon dioxide will come outside. So that exact exchange of gases is taking place in these alveoli. Okay. So when the problem at the level of alveoli or these alveolar sacs, it is known as emphysema. If problem is at the level of your bronchial tubes, then it will be bronchitis. Okay, very simple. This is not required still to make you more clear about the disease. I am telling you. Okay, this is clear to all. We'll move towards the disease.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, very good. Now, chronic bronchitis. Again, I told you, itis means your inflammation and bronchial tubes, it is bronchi. So, lungs condition is very simple to understand. Lung condition that destroys the cilia in your airways. Cilia, the halide. So, what is cilia? So, this is your bronchial tubes. Like, very bad in diagram. So, there are a little hair, small, very small hair like projections in the inner walls of your these inner walls of your tubes. Okay, these cilia like projections are also present in your nasal passage. Okay, everywhere. This cilia, what is the work of the cilia? These want to remove all the dust particle or debris particle, or which are unwanted particles coming inside. They want to just throw it out. Okay, so therefore these cilia are present there. So what these cilia do, these hair-like projections, parts of the cells that move germs out of the body, or debris particle out of your airways. So when these cilia, this is their work is very important. When these cilia get destroyed, in this condition, in this chronic bronchitis, these cilia also get destroyed. Therefore, it is written that lung condition that destroys the cilia in your airways, which is very important for us because it is removing all the debris particles out and not letting it inside go inside. So chronic bronchitis is the inflammation. So as I told you, whenever there is some reaction in the body, there is the as we say, equal and opposite reaction. Our body also gives some reaction in order to save it. So therefore, in order to save, in their language, in body language, when there is some attack or destruction is happening, to save it, they start swelling. Okay, everything starts swelling or reddishness. You also see if there is a little cut on our hand also, there is a swelling there afterwards. There will be swelling and reddish implication is there. So like that, here also swelling happens. And if there will be swelling happen, what will happen? The air is flowing through these bronchial tubes, air is flowing normally. If there is some restriction or some these obstruction of swelling will happen, there will be difficulty for air to flow inside easily as it is flowing before. So there will be difficulty in breathing also. Very simple. So therefore it is written chronic bronchitis is inflammation or swelling and irritation of the bronchial tubes or airways. Irritation happens when there is very difficulty to breathe in or out. These tubes are the airways that carry air to and from the air sacs in the lungs. Okay, these are the only these are only carrying passage which carries air out of the body and inside the body. Okay, very easy.
Ma'am,
Understand
I have
this?
a question. How does this cilia get destroyed actually?
This destroyed due to some like I said you na, maybe there will be the immune system's responses, or our body is not responding to this. When there is immune system problem, then it will leads to the breakdown of your cilia.
Okay.
So, ma'am,
Due to some, yes.
it will not destroyed by like nasal polyps or things like that. Whatever you have
Any
told
external,
me.
any external
Yeah,
stimuli,
any external factor like smoking and all,
any
or
external
exposed
stimuli
to harmful
will
chemicals.
destroy this. Yes. Hmm. And other causes we'll see and how this happens. So in further slides, we'll see that what exactly can leads to it. That's why that smoking and all also, that what happens exactly na, when we take smoking, when the people do smoking and all, there will be the like regularly small little this development of this cough and all happening, due to which their passage is narrowing down again and again, and there is very difficulty for them to breathe, exhale out. They are all the time coughing, those who are smoking, and they further leads to destruction in their lungs. Okay, now it is simple, same everything. The what we have explained, that is only written. We can see just the irritation of the tubes causes mucus to build up. Okay, irritation of the tubes causes mucus to build up. This mucus and the swelling of the tubes make it harder for the lungs to move oxygen and carbon dioxide out of the body. What we have studied before only. The condition typically results in persistent coughing and increased production of the mucus in the airways. Why increasing mucus production? Because it want to save it, and as a reaction it is showing that it want to save. Now chronic bronchitis is the long term condition. Chronic word itself means that long term condition. Okay, though there classification also in two, acute and chronic, but we are studying chronic bronchitis, so it is a long term condition and it can have significant impact on the person's quality of the life. Every problem, small to small, even normal cough, cold cough in our day to day life, it happens, it can deprive our quality of the life. Very easy. You can understand with this. If you want, you can see this diagram also. Normal bronchus is like this. Normal, everything is happening. These are the ciliary. mm these are the cilia hairs, hair-like projections. When this narrowing down of the passage happens, what exactly happens? This increased mucus or this increased swelling or inflammation is here, which is narrowing down the passage. This hole becomes very small, no, due to this increased mucus and inflammation. So this is very simple diagram to see and understand with this. Now bronchitis, this is the whole whatever we have studied. We have written this in this cycle itself, like how sneezing and coughing and shortness of the breath normal, fever, chills. What is chills? This is the type of, like, to maintain the homeostasis in the body whenever there is a cold, to maintain the homeostasis. At the last slide I have written the whole definition of the chills, you can see there. Runny nose, fever, chills, runny nose, chest pain, etc. All the symptoms. Then production of the clear, due to save that there will be the production of the mucus. Excess mucus will be there. This is written in this slide. And now next, inflammation of the swelling of the bronchial tubes, which will be hinders your breath to in and out properly, and further it will leads to bronchitis as swelling happened. Okay. Now, symptoms, not so important. Still, you can see the chronic cough produces shortness of the breath, wheezing sound. Just focus on what exactly required for exam now. Okay, chest discomfort, but you should know it is very simple. No? Weight loss, as I told you again and again, coughing, breathing problem. It will lead to weight loss and etc. Weakness. Now, the symptoms may worsen over a time. It significantly limits the person's ability to perform daily activities. That means quality of life will be deprived. Okay. Now, main causes. I told you now causes. Long-term exposure to the irritants such as cigarettes, smoking, now tobacco, smoke. It is written tobacco smoke can also cause chronic bronchitis, especially if you inhale them. What happened now? And also, it is not written as people are doing smoking, but they are active smokers, but the passive smokers are more affected as compared to then that of the real smokers. Okay, what who are the passive smokers, or we can say second hand smokers? We also used to call them second hand smokers. So the people which who are not doing smoking, but the nearby someone is smoking, they are inhaling the all air they are giving out.
Passive smoking actually. Yeah.
That is called passive smoking. So it is told that passive smoking is even more harmful than that of real smoking. Okay, real smoking is harmful, okay, because they are doing so, they should be harmed. But other people's are harming more than that. Okay, this is very, like, so sad. Then tobacco smoke, air pollution, of course. Therefore, nowadays respiratory disorders are the most common because a lot of pollution is there. Now, industrial dust or chemicals, etc. Genetics and respiratory infections can also play a role, but more is nowadays what air pollution and the smoking, etc., is the main reason. So here it is also seen with the diagram. You can see very simple and very easy diagram. Inflamed primary and the secondary bronchi. Okay, due to cigarette, what happens? The chronic bronchitis is caused most often by the exposure to airborne pollutants such as cigarette smokes, etc., and air pollution. So prevention, the most effective way to prevent the chronic bronchitis is to avoid smoking and exposure to second hand smokes. As I told you, passive smoking, second hand smokes to avoid. Everyone want to avoid, but very difficult if someone is smoking in front. And environmental pollutants, okay, and immunization against respiratory infections such as flu and pneumonia can also help to reduce the risk for chronic bronchitis. This is simple prevention, but we have to need not to focus more on this all. We have to further go for therapies only. The disease and therapy. Certain complications for these diseases if left untreated or poorly managed, it can lead to respiratory failure, heart problems, as no proper oxygen is going inside, reduced lung functions and lung capacity, etc. Now, classification, this is important again. Classification, what as I told you that we are studying chronic bronchitis, but further bronchitis is divided into two, chronic and acute. With the name itself, very simple, we can understand chronic for long period, acute for short period. So, we can even see inside acute bronchitis, which usually develops from respiratory infections such as cold, cough, simple cold cough, okay, goes away with 1 to 2 weeks. You have to learn only 1 to 2 weeks. This line. Only this line is important. Okay, acute 1 to 2 weeks. And chronic bronchitis is the more serious condition that develops over a time. Symptoms may get better or worsen, but they will never completely goes off. Some of the symptoms based differences between them, acute bronchitis and this is not so important still, but you can see these. And the meaning of chills, as I told you, I have given here are, so what is chills? Chills are caused by the rapid muscle contraction and relaxation. So what happens when the body's way to produce heat when it feels cold? As I told you, in order to maintain the homeostasis. So what happens when we feel cold? There will be the more rapid contraction relaxation of the muscles to provide a little heat or make it heat. They provide it a little warm. There is a little contraction and relaxation. This condition is called as chills. Okay, chills often predict the coming of the fever, or because a person feels a little feverish at that condition. Okay, when our body will try to manage that cold. Hmm? Not so still. Someone in last class make them study. They asked for this. So I have written this here. With this, we have completed with this also. If any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, I will ask.
Can you, ma'am,
What
can you explain it? Chills.
Yes, ma'am.
What? Yes. Ma'am, can you explain again chills?
Again, can you explain again what?
Chills, ma'am.
Chills, ma'am.
Oh, there,
Chills, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what is chills? As you know, homeostasis in order to maintain the balance of our body. So what happened when we feel cold? Okay, when we feel cold, in order to maintain this cold which we are feeling, okay, our body's muscles rapidly contract, relax, contract, relax, contract, relax, so that it will provide a little warmth to the body. It will provide a little warmth to body. Such condition is called as chills. Situation is called as
So
chills.
sort of shivering, right?
So in this condition, the person feels a little feverish because our body is trying to make it warm, provide warm, and we are feeling cold from outside. Exactly like that. Okay. Is it clear now, ma'am?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. So it is no doubts. Any doubts you can ask. Otherwise, I have lots
So
of doubts.
in what context are we studying chills here, ma'am?
No, just to, as I told now before, like in last time when I make the study, the students have doubts for this meaning of chills. So I just put this meaning. Okay. Whatever the questions everyone asked now, I put it the last slides to answer that. And just to make this understand the meaning chills, I put here also now that what is the new word chills. So to make it more clear. Not only telling, you can even study. Just put this. Okay. Okay. So now understand, any doubts? No doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. One second.
No, ma'am.
Very good. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, so now I have lots of doubts. Sarika, PS has left. Mm. Okay, so this question and answer session is really very important for all of you. If you are answering, it's good. If you are not answering, it's also good. Okay, but don't left at the time of question answers. No problem. I will not. I'm not beating you. Okay, I'm very small still from you all. So it is good for you. If you're not answering, you will see that others are answering. That time the answer will hit and it will be remembered for whole lifetime. Okay, most of the time when you required, so it is very important. So now what are the two diseases we have studied today? All are clear with this na? Sometimes what happened na, in the class student even didn't know what we are studying, so such small questions are also very much hard. So what are the two diseases? We will write the right answers. Okay, Sarika ma'am will tell.
Sinusitis and chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder.
Oh, this is in the syllabus, COPD.
Bronchitis.
You are clear with, we have studied bronchitis or COPD? See, I told you today
COPD.
we don't
COPD
know
was there.
what we are studying. Yes, so we are
Chronic
studying COPD.
bronchitis.
Our topic,
Bronchitis.
once you are saying COPD, once you are saying bronchitis. Okay. So here nicely, no problem. Okay. So ma'am, in our topics, if you will go through the syllabus also, you will understand what is the topic. Okay. So our topic is chronic bronchitis, not COPD. COPD, I had told you to make you understand what are these problems of your respiratory disorders. And starting on the first slide only, I told you to understand the what exactly is chronic bronchitis. We'll go through COPD first. What is COPD? Because it comes under this, COPD is a group of diseases. It comes under this, chronic bronchitis comes under COPD. It is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, the pulmonary disease which are causing obstruction in our body. So this is COPD, which involves, there are two diseases involved in COPD. No one will write the answer, just raise your hands. Two diseases are involved in COPD. um, yes, Karthik, MB sir, you will tell. Karthik sir. Two diseases are involved in COPD. Answer please, fast, fast.
Sinusitis and bronchitis.
Huh? Okay. Sinusitis and bronchitis are the diseases which we have studied today, but I'm asking what are the two diseases involved in COPD? What is the full form COPD, Suja ma'am? Let me know.
Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
What are the two diseases involved in it, Sagar Kumar? Two diseases involved in COPD. These are many now. I didn't understand.
Chronic bronchitis and or
And or yes, try.
Emphysema, ma'am.
Yes, very good.
Asthma, madam.
हाँ, अस्थमा सब बता दीजिए, अस्थमा, ट्यूबरकुलोसिस, सब एवरीथिंग, कोई डिजीज तो होगा.
No,
Okay,
madam.
Deepam.
When you were saying, I not hear the actual question. Something I
Okay,
think so. Network issue.
okay, sir. Okay, no problem. So Deepam sir, yes. What is emphysema?
Emphysema is basically some sort of inflammation in the alveolar walls.
Okay.
Some kind of
And
swelling or inflammation in alveolar walls, actually. Yeah.
yes. And what happens in bronchitis?
Bronchitis is swelling and redness in the walls of the bronchioles uh,
Okay.
due to destruction of the uh, cilia
Okay.
or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sarika ma'am will tell what exactly is chronic bronchitis, the main disease which we have to study.
Chronic
Yes.
bronchitis is a lung disease that destroys the cilia in the airway.
So what happened when cilia destroyed?
So that the germs and other debris will not be removed. Cilia helps in the removal of germs and other debris.
So as a reaction of it, what our body will cause? Gunjan will tell me. As a reaction of a destruction of cilia in the bronchial tube. So what our body reacts in return?
Ma'am, we cannot breathe properly.
You know what happens when there is a destruction of cilia. Okay, our body will give some back reaction. Na? What back reaction it is giving that I want to ask.
Mucus, ma'am?
Yes. Okay. Shravani ma'am, you can tell.
Yes, ma'am. And in this bronchitis situation, it will have that in these tubes we will get irritation in the tubes, and this causes leads to mucus, and which leads to it become hard, and it becomes which becomes to breathe also becomes tough to breathe,
You were
and even
telling
carry
exactly what
oxygen.
happens to the physiological condition. So, ma'am, Sakshi ma'am will tell. Okay.
Ma'am, is it like restricted airflow and breathing problem?
The restricted airflow is there when there is ciliary damage. Of course, our body will run as a mucus accumulation. Very good, and swelling. Of course, itis word I told you, na swelling will happen, and swelling itself will narrow down the passage, na. Accumulation of mucus and swelling or this inflammation will narrow down the passage, then it will lead to the obstruction in the breath and feeling difficulty in breathing out. Okay, understand to all? Thumbs up please. Okay, so you are all are giving right answers, but exactly I want is that mucus, well, as a destruction of cilia, the mucus is increasing, and swelling is happening, inflammation is happening inside the mucosal membrane of your bronchial tubes. Okay, so this should be the, I told you na, the exact exact points I just want to just in all the answers, just I want 2 points. Okay, so who will tell that what is the main cause for this bronchitis? Very main cause which we have studied today. Um,
And
Lapali,
destruction of the cilia.
no, no, please answer. Please raise your hands. Just raise your hands. Lipalika, ma'am will tell.
Ma'am, by the smoking or air pollution, tobacco, so many causes are
Oh,
there. These are main
okay,
causes.
okay, very good. So, what is allergic rhinitis? Who will tell? Raise your hands. Hmm. Rajeshwari, ma'am will say you didn't revised.
I yesterday's means I didn't do, ma'am,
Okay,
because I was traveling.
Saket Malik will tell. Yesterday you are there in the class.
Ma'am,
Yes.
yes, ma'am. Can you repeat the question, please?
What is allergic rhinitis?
Okay. Inflammation of the nasal passages due to allergens or foreign particles, which leads to swelling and swelling the nasal cavities.
Okay, very good. So the classifications who will tell? Okay, Karthik sir, you will tell that what are the classifications of bronchitis? Fast, unmute yourself. Returning papers or what? Karthik sir, are you there or not?
Yes, madam.
So why are
So
you
why
not
are you not
answering?
answering it? Madam, that network issue is something I don't know that when I owning that something is happening.
Oh, okay, then
Okay, then What's the
Okay,
question,
Suja,
ma'am?
I am saying that what are the classifications?
It's acute and chronic.
Yes. Okay, cut this mute. Hmm. So what are the classifications of how many classifications we have seen in allergic rhinitis? Who will tell okay, so Deepam sir, how many classifications of allergic rhinitis we have seen?
Uh, I forgot this one.
I told you now from starting till last I can ask one question from. I have completed till last, but I asked didn't left the allergic rhinitis first disease in last sessions. Okay, how many classifications are there? Sagar, Uma, you will tell. Fast, fast, fast.
Volume 4 classification.
Okay, what are the names? Tell me.
The long term
You are telling classifications of
bronchitis का?
no classifications of allergic rhinitis. I am asking.
Okay, sorry.
You have you know answer or not?
Not. I cannot recall.
Okay. So who will name them? Raise your hands. Okay, Sarika ma'am will tell. Name all the classifications of allergic rhinitis.
Seasonal allergic rhinitis, perennial allergic rhinitis, sporadic and occupational.
Okay, very good. So what is the who will tell? Raise your hands. Who will tell?
What, ma'am?
What are the functions of histamine? Suja ma'am will tell.
Histamines are some chemicals produced by our body when some kind of unwanted things enter into the body.
Okay. What we call them these unwanted things? Lipalika ma'am will tell. The one word answer. I want.
Allergen.
Yes, very good. So, what is the meaning of word sporadic? Deepam sir will tell.
Can you just repeat for once?
What?
Can you just repeat the question for once?
What is the meaning of word sporadic?
I forgot this when revised yesterday's class.
That this shows. Okay, Sarika ma'am will tell. What is the meaning of sporadic?
Intermittent.
What?
Is it intermittent?
I asked the meaning of sporadic. Okay, Sakshi ma'am will tell.
Ma'am, sporadic, I don't know, but the classification which sporadic allergies, which means that intermittent allergies, like it will not happen regularly.
So the word I told you I can ask anything. I also so sporadic word I told, which is in not in Kartik sir, which is not in regularity. Okay, which is not in regularity. It means sporadic. That's why it is intermittent episodes. Okay. So I'm just checking that who is really. Okay. How many types of sinuses are there? Gunjan ma'am will tell. Fast, fast, fast. Unmute.
Sorry, I didn't recall.
Okay, you don't know. Then okay. Saket sir will tell how many types of sinuses are there. Only in
Actually,
numbers.
ma'am,
Only in numbers.
4 types, ma'am. Four
Okay.
types.
Okay. Sarika ma'am will name them.
Maxillary, ethmoid, frontal, sphenoid.
Okay. Which sinus is something which is related to butterfly named bone? Rajeshwari ma'am will tell.
Yes, ma'am. Sphenoid sinus.
Okay,
Sphenoid or sphenoid.
okay, very good. So, what are the location of all the sinuses? Um, who will tell? Sakshi ma'am will tell. Hmm?
Yes, ma'am. So maxillary sinus is like behind the nose or under the eyes, we can say, because we have two maxillary bones. Then frontal sinus, it is above the eyes. And then ethmoidal sinus, it is between the eyes, and a sphenoidal sinus is like behind the eyes.
Yes, okay, very good. What is the meaning of okay, Karthik sir? Whenever you mute, unmute, na, everything is like many sounds are there. So,
When Karthik sir speaks now, you just mute yourself, then it won't happen.
okay, Karthik sir, then tell what is sinusitis. Um,
Yes, madam. Sinusitis is a it is means it's a inflammation, madam. And sinusitis is an inflammation which blocks the respiratory tract. This is known as sinusitis.
what?
Sinusitis is a blockage of airways, madam. It may be in a nasal or frontal and ethmoid or sphenoidal.
So airwaves. What
And
are
it
the
is a mucus there.
mute yourself. So you are confused with two disease only. We had studied 2 to 3. You are completely confused now. You are saying it right, but you are confused here. Okay. Who will correct him? Who will correct him? Rajeshwari ma'am, you will correct him.
Actually, due to the echo, I couldn't understand, ma'am, what he was answering. So basically, your question was, what happens in sinus, ma'am?
Okay, Saket sir will. Okay, ma'am, just wait. Saket sir will correct him. Tell him that what exactly is like missing.
Ma'am, inflammation of sinuses or sinus.
This is inflammation of sinuses is called as sinusitis, Karthik sir, and and that problem is that is bronchitis. Okay, chronic bronchitis. You're mixing airways
It
with your
also,
bronchial.
whenever we breathe, na, madam, it make a trouble of airways also, na? Nasal sinusitis.
Okay, these are air-filled sacs. I told you. Okay, no problem. So, what is exactly sinusitis? Now, who will tell? Rajeshwari ma'am will tell.
Yeah, let's try, ma'am. So it's an inflammation of the mucous membrane lining the sinus. Is that right, ma'am?
Okay. So, because only 2 minutes left, I left exactly at the 10. Lipalika ma'am will tell how many divisions are there or classifications of sinuses we had seen or sinusitis we have seen. Just name them.
Ma'am, two types. Yes, two types, ma'am.
Just
One is multi and another one and get it for this. Two types.
multi and other.
Pan, madam.
Yes, very good. Now, on basis of the location, who
Ma'am,
will tell?
I have
Yes.
a question. If types is multi-sinusitis and pan-sinusitis, then what is this maxillary, frontal,
that
ethmoidal?
that question only I am asking now on the basis of location. Okay, these classification are there is some basis for the classification na, on the basis of location where it is happening, the sinus, the blockage where it is happening, the position of the exact position of the nerve. Okay, understand? And here it is how many sinuses are involved. So the thing I want in this answer is maybe my question is not clear, but I want is these are division are happening in the two bases. One, number of sinuses involved, one, where the location is exactly, that I am asking. No problem. What is pansinusitis? Sagar Kumar will take. What happened, Sagar sir? Will you tell or not? Searching where it is written or what? Sarika ma'am will tell. Pansinusitis.
Pansinusitis, when all the sinuses are involved, that is called pansinusitis.
Multisinusitis. Multisinusitis. Sakshi ma'am will tell.
When, ma'am, one or more sinusitis involved.
Very easy, na? This is all. Okay. Now, on the basis of duration of attack, how many divisions we have seen? Only numbers you will tell. Okay. Who will tell? Saket sir will say.
What, ma'am? I didn't hear
Drug
actually.
classification based on duration of attack.
Chronic and acute.
And assumptions. So come on. And okay, Rajeshwari ma'am will tell. Division of sinusitis based on duration of attack. Last 1 minute, please. We'll end then. Fast, fast,
Ma'am,
fast answer.
is it acute and chronic?
Okay, everyone write the answers in the voice chat. Yes, ma'am. So four, someone is saying four, four or someone saying two. Name them. Four if they doesn't name them. Suja ma'am, you can tell.
It's acute sinusitis, subacute, chronic, and recurrent.
Okay, very good. What happened? What happened in subacute? Sagar sir will tell. Open your mic, please. He's sleeping or what?
Subacute means short term.
Okay, well, how many times told you, na? Just you have to learn the time period. What time period is there?
Long term is chronic and short term is acute.
Who will tell? Raise your hands. Okay, Sakshi ma'am, tell.
Ma'am,
All.
4 to 12 weeks. Okay, all. Acute is for 2 to 4 weeks, subacute for 4 to 12 weeks, chronic is for at least for 12 weeks, and recurrent for several times in a year.
Okay, very good. So all of you, please kindly go and revise. I just want, especially in my class, just you can learn everything in the class itself because very easy subject. Only have to understand the disease. No learning, nothing. It is a little interesting also when we used to understand it. Just you have to recap it once. Okay, everything don't give extra time. I don't want before the class only 15 minutes, 20 minutes before or in day before you can just revise, okay, within 15 minutes. No need to give extra time for this. You can learn in the class itself again and again, hearing the same questions. You will learn by yourself. At the end of the, when we'll complete the syllabus, you will say that allergic rhinitis is my best friend. Okay, this is first disease na, so you will learn here only. So all of you, best of luck, but just revise everything for 15, just give 10 to 15 minutes. That is enough, very much enough. Okay, so thank you so much to everyone. Hari Om. I will meet you.
Hari Om, ma'am.
Thank you, Hari ma'am.
Very good.
Thank you.
Most welcome.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.